Hello, YouTube. Welcome to the So Far So Rare podcast. I'm John, and I'm wearing a big loud shirt today. You're going to love this episode. I talked to Youngy, and we talked all about the community update. Zinedine Zidane. There's a few new other legends on the platform. Argentina. Loads of stuff. Hope you enjoy the episode. Youngy, welcome to the podcast. We've known each other, or at least operated in the same spaces for a long time. You've been through those unfortunate unnamed platforms before So Rare. But here we are. We're talking about So Rare. Life is good. How's your summer going?
So far, so good. I was just basically
so far, so good. That's why the podcast is called what it is.
You go.
That's the whole thing. Anyway,
yeah. The summer isn't a break, is it, for us on So Rare? Summer's all about Asian and MLS football. And what I'm finding, in all honesty, is that I spend. It's what I'm most excited about. I'm actually probably more upset that they'll be coming to an end and the European season's going on, and I'm really surprised to be saying that, because if you'd have asked me a year and a half ago, I didn't have a clue about any of them. So yeah, my summer's been action-packed, early mornings, late nights, not a lot of sleep, full-time job a little bit.
No wonder you get on with Hoodwink so well, because that guy doesn't sleep.
That's it. The late night chats, the lineup builders, I suppose. Yeah, that's the one. But it works. It does work.
It's really interesting that is a really interesting opening, because I am the absolute antithesis and opposite of what you're saying there. I cannot wait for European football. I hate this part of the year, because I'm just, all my good cards are just sat there and training, and I'm just waiting. I'm waiting. But it's really interesting. It just shows the game and how it can be played in a million different ways, and how people from the UK, Ireland, and Europe in general can be hooked on American Asian football. And it's just incredible, because this is your time to shine. And then Europe comes back, and you'll be like, oh, here we go. Now I have to wait until the season comes back. And you're thinking in Asian and America, which is mad.
Well, originally, I only went over to it purely because of the likes of Hoodwink and saying, like, obviously, I didn't want a dead summer and nothing to do. And do you want to do this and look at these? And at first, I was a little bit like, I don't really know if it's for me. But the minute you start getting involved, dig a little bit deeper, certainly having people around you that know, then you create your lineups like you have. You started your Kawasaki stack and things like that, and then all of a sudden you find yourself interested, and then before you know it, you're building, and yeah, you find yourself knee deep in Asian translated pages and transfer rumors, and then obviously they're saying, "Oh, have you heard Sterling signed for Chelsea?" And like, no, didn't hear it, but I know Magosa's gone to Vissel Kobe.
That's the thing. And like we said that before we hit record, I was saying, geez, have there been any big transfers this week, that have been confirmed? And, like Sterling's not really So Rare related, but Koulibaly is a huge one for my gallery off the Chelsea, all but confirmed, I think. we've got the Here We Go from Fabrizio.
Have you still got 14%?
9.5 now, but still, that's that Chelsea. That's a big card to have,
Take it.
Adila Sheesh, my super rare, linked to Feyenoord, stuff like this. So I'm like, how many big transfers? And you're like, lad, I don't have a clue, but I know who's going to Vissel Kobe. Do you know what I mean? It's just like a
madness, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's my summer really. It's been more busy than researching, and then all of a sudden, European football's up. And if anyone's seen my gallery, I've held some European footballers. The Challenger, I didn't really go into Champion too hard at the beginning. Sort of regret it now, but it's a bit late to the game at the moment for me. But so I held on to my general Challenger Europeans, and I've started building on them, but I don't really know what I'm going to do there at the moment. I'm still trying to plan whether to get an extra keeper, because at the minute I've got to play one division or the other, be it All-Star for the ETH or Challenger Europe. So I've only got the one keeper, and the common keeper obviously going. So I don't have to sell a keeper, get another keeper, sit on the keeper, wait for it to go. So decisions.
Yeah. The keepers are a real bottleneck, and I'm actually really, that's something that we haven't spoke about in a while. I'm really excited to see how the whole threshold thing actually translates, because all the logic in the world will tell you rare goalkeeper prices go up, and I don't know if they have trended up. I imagine they have, but the crash and Ethan stuff, it can be hard to really analyze all the numbers. But whenever that actually happens, because we all know, we do it every season, we all go, oh, America's ending, it's probably the time to buy, and oh, Europe's just started and there's loads of hype, maybe it's the time to sell, but none of us ever fucking do it. None of us actually do it.
Did you have an American lineup last season, John?
I did, but it was all under 23s. That was Daryl Dyke, Pepe, Cole Bassett. They all got transfers. George Bello, literally every one of them got transfers.
I had I had Gustavo Bo, Johnny Russell, Mihailovic, all the players that's big this season, and I sold them for peanuts at the end to get prepared for the European season again.
Yeah.
Like Morales from New York, and their players, I was selling them for like, I know ETH was probably worth more, but I was probably selling them for like 150, 180 quid rares. And when I went to buy back in, they'd 3x'd at least. And now, like, it was a big mistake. And that's why I've just held on to my Europeans, because I was worried that was going to happen again.
Yeah, it's so hard to time it.
Of course it is. And people look at the, you know, the trends, I suppose, but I don't think you can judge it. As users are increasing and scarcities are changing, you don't know whether you're coming or going. When do you buy in? When do you sell? So if I'm unsure, I've just held. I have just held.
One announcement can flip it in its head. That's what I keep saying. Anyone who says with any conviction what's going to happen is full of shite. No one has a clue. We can all speculate, and the speculation would tell you that rare goalkeeper prices take a massive bump in August, because they'll be removed from all-star threshold teams. Up to date, in every tutorial I've done and everything everyone does, the first thing you do is you bang out a quick threshold team. That's changed now, in fairness, over the last 6 to 8 months, towards the end of last year, when there were more limited cards in supply and blah, 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 blah. You know, now maybe it's more about targeting specialists and underdogs and having a bit of fun there. But all in all, a large percentage of the users would just be like threshold hounds, and now they're going to be in a position where we need goalkeepers. And then there's fools, guys like me, who I need goalkeepers if I want to push up. You always need more goalkeepers, and I just think, like, everyone knows we're going to need them, everyone knows they're going to need one, but everyone's still going to be an agent and wait for 3 weeks from now, and then they're going to panic.
This is what I'm thinking, because I have enough Asian and American keepers to play 5 rare/rare pro teams, but only 1 European keeper. So the most sensible thing to do would be to sell one of those keeper and get a European keeper. But that right now stops me playing one of my other lineups. So now I'm still waiting. So do I wait for the overlap, or do I bite the bullet? And this is the problem. Like, the thing is, you're never happy. You're never happy. That's the problem with Sorare. When you say to a point like, once I'm happy with my gallery, or once I'm happy with this lineup, I'm going to move on and build another lineup, or, you know. But the minute you think you're happy, you then look back or ask your people you speak to and say, who would you improve in this lineup? So you're never fully happy. You always got somewhere else. When you reach the level you want to reach, there's another level. And things obviously happen along the way, be it injuries, suspensions, transfers, and it's just forever changing world of Sorare.
Have you got any kids?
Yes.
You could sell one and get a Martin van der Voort, maybe.
I've got 3 of them, so yeah, maybe on this one.
You've got Van der Voort, Donnarumma, and do you know what? Why not throw in someone else? Go and get yourself on a koi.
I don't know about the champion keepers. I'm staying in challenger for the time being. I've got a little champion. The thing is, what I need to do is dip my toe. I go cheap to begin with, dip my toe, and get a bit of interest in that league, and then I'll progress from there. That's basically what I did with Asia. Same as what you're doing with Asia, really. You're dipping your toe in, seeing, and then you might progress. You might not like it. You might move out. But I feel that although I've been on since 2020, I was well before the boom. I don't know. I just didn't go hard straight on champion, and could you call it a regret? Maybe, but at the same time, with what I put in. To what my gallery is worth, I'm happy with that, and the angle it's gone, I am happy. So I think I'm too late to go mad on champion, but what I will do is progress with my challenger teams and just try and get 2 teams out, but it's just a matter of when I do it.
Yeah, I'm looking there. Yeah, you've been on the platform since the 10th of November 2020, so just maybe 2 months after me, a month and a half after me.
Yeah, it was your videos, John. It was. I remember you popping up with it on one of
you messaged me about that.
Yeah.
The first message you sent me.
Yeah, I used your link, but I never ended up with a free card. Something didn't happen, and that's what I messaged you about. And I said, was I supposed to? But that was a bit deep, so I actually ended up signing up without the sign up. So I should have been one.
Oh my god!
I should have been one of your guys. If you go back through our messages, you'll see that right at the beginning.
Do you know the amount of dodgy shit I've heard about those affiliate links and people falling through cracks? I don't even want to look, because I'm telling you now, you see the amount of signups I got through Gary V's Boom, and albeit they all expired like 6 months ago, so I'm not creaming that anymore. But there was a while there where John was eating well, and I still wonder how many actually slipped through the cracks. But I think it's better just to get on with life.
As a new user, it's frustrating with me because obviously at that point it was a free
get your free card.
It was a rare one.
Exactly. And how many it was free rares back then. So like that, God knows how many free rare cards were missed.
Yeah, that's only managed to sign
anyway.
Up, ended up with a Shaqiri, sold it on the cheap because he weren't playing, and look at him now.
How's he doing now? He's over in America, isn't he?
Yeah, Chicago, is it? Is it Chicago? He's worth
Chicago Fire.
Yeah. But hey, how many cars have you sold cheaply, John, and then regret it?
God, I could be sick. I don't even know.
Like, the gallery you have now, because you needed that money to buy someone you've got now. So, you know, at the end of it, if you didn't sell that player, you would have your Leaos, you know.
That's actually the thing though as well. Like I don't know who I sold to get the Leao, for example, but I mean I remember fair play to Mark YNWA. Like he had the Leao, I wanted the Leao, he was selling them. We agreed on like a price of 0.77 or something, or 0.7, I can't remember. But he let me pay him like 0.6 because I didn't have it and I wanted the card in. I said, like, I'll give you 0.6, and he trusted me to pay the next 0.2 or 0.17. So he gave me it, and I sold people to get that card, got the cash back to him. But I wonder who I sold to enable that.
Yeah, it's the trust that people have. Like I've done it myself. I've had a few players on tick, if you will, like not purely, but like there's even lads like not even in the lawyers, just lads I speak to on Discord, and it's like, do you want this guy? I'm sending this guy. I do, but I haven't got enough ETH. Well, no worries, send us that and just send the rest when you've got it. And you're like, this is madness. Like, but that's the community, and that's part of what keeps it here. The community is just amazing when it comes to that.
Yeah. Did you happen to listen to last week's podcast?
I did.
Did you hear the horror story in that podcast? You missed the horror story where he basically sent over an ETH.
Yes.
Or something. What did he do?
It was for Neymar. He sent an ETH over for another player, Brandon
for Aronson. He got Aronson in return.
Oh. Yeah, to be honest,
it's shafted. So the community, it's beautiful, but you know.
Oh yeah, you got to be careful. Of course you are.
There's a fine, yeah, it's fucking tough. Like, that was a horror story. But if you missed last week's episode,
that's a lot of money. I wouldn't go deposit. I'm talking like 0.2 ish. Like what I'm trying to say is, it's something that's not going to harm you. Like at that point, that's probably a couple of grand when he was on about doing that. I wouldn't be sending that over as a deposit. Not a chance.
I know. Well, but he made a mistake. But go back and listen to the episode with Sorare Strategy if you missed it. That was a horror story.
No, I did. It's devastating. But hey, you live, you learn, don't you? This is the thing. Like I've had similar experiences in other areas of my life, so that's probably.
Oh yeah, I've had a few. I've been burnt myself. Yeah, everyone. You know, you get burnt once, you get burnt twice. You know what's the whole thing? It's like she fooled me once. I always mess this up, and you know why I mess this up? Because I think it was in like a J. Cole song, and it's like mugging off. Did George Bush mess up the quote? So the only place I know the quote from is George Bush messing it up. So I try and do it, and I always mess it up. But anyway, I'm not gonna like make a dick of myself like I always do.
We'll move on. You live, you love 90, but the majority of the majority of the Sorare community are fantastic. Then
they are, yeah, the majority, large majority. Apart from that one douche. So there's a few things to speak about this week that have happened. Obviously, we're going to get to the community update and delve into it. Something around a few prizes that have been changed. There's a legend announced, and there's a country that's been licensed. We'll go through them in the reverse order of the way I've just talked about them. So first up, we had and Panenka was released as well. I didn't mention it. Panenka, he's the guy who the whole penalty was named after. So he's out there. What is he? Is he
what team is he from?
Rapid Wien. Rapid Wien.
Oh, okay.
Rapid Vienna. Don't know what position he is. I could probably click in and have a check. He is come on, I have to watch the whole video and scrub it. I imagine he's a forward if he's taking penalties, but he's a forward. So I don't know, maybe not that desirable a card in terms of SO5 potential, but definitely a nice collectible for people. Definitely. Then we had the Argentine Football Association join Sorare. So they've announced an exclusive multi-year partnership. Expect to see Argentina stars on Sorare for the big tournament this winter. Now, this is actually an interesting conversation, right? So first of all, I'll pose one question to you. Is Messi in an Argentina shirt worth more than Messi in a PSG shirt, even though the PSG shirt was first?
I'd say yes.
Yeah?
I think it goes Barcelona, Argentina, PSG.
Do you think if a Barcelona one come out now, though? Like,
not now. No, I don't know. Like the problem is that I don't see the value in Messi at the moment because of where he is in his career. Because I'm for utility over collectability. But for collectability, surely Barcelona's worth more. But I don't know.
Yeah, I think Argentina is worth more than PSG from a collectible standpoint, which is everything, because I mean utility will be the same. If Barcelona was to come out, it would have to come out as a legend thing unless you return to Barcelona someday. I wonder, it's just this whole thing about collectabilities where like the first card is kind of key. So I think like the first card of Messi is kind of key. He's the first like officially licensed digital collectible. I'm sure there might be other ones on other platforms, but I think it does have significance. So I wonder like how much people will care about Argentina and how much people will care if he ever moves club again, specifically back to Barcelona. But here's what I want to bring up. The important thing here is the licensing of players that this brings. And this could be a huge hack to get the best players from the world without actually necessarily getting the Premier League. Like, I mean, realistically, if you're good enough to be in a Premier League superstar, you'll probably play for your international team. So if they have all the international teams, why would they really need the Premier League? They would. I get why they'd need it, but what I'm getting at more is like, who really wants the dodgy Nottingham Forest players who don't play internationally? Who's really going to target them for SO5? It's a collectible thing, and I get that, and I understand the importance and having the leagues and the rights and all that comes with that. But what I'm getting at here is, in terms of wanting the best players in the world, we already have a load of them from the Premier League. If you could get the English Players Association on board, like, I mean, come on, you really are getting somewhere. But my point is that from like Argentina, I just look at their last game that was competitive, the Finalissima against Italy. They've Messi, who is licensed already, Martinez licensed already, Di Maria we already have, De Paul we already have, Lo Celso, do we have him in a Villarreal kit maybe? Doesn't really matter who wants him. Do you know, to be quite frank. Guido Rodriguez, he's a Betis, so we should have him. Romero is Spurs, we don't have him. Molina plays for Udinese, we have him. Otamendi,
not many ticked off, they've got him.
Tagliafico, we have him. The only one you don't have is the Aston Villa goalkeeper Martinez. Once you get to the bench, even Julian Alvarez, Acuna, we have both of them. Paulo Dybala, Juan Foyth. Don't know about Nico Gonzalez. Alexis McAllister's at Brighton. I don't know. I could go through. Ezequiel Palacios is at Leverkusen. Papu Gomez we literally have all this team, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, it's a handful of them. But there's not many Argentinians in the Premier League, I suppose. This is
that's
with England, a lot of the best English players play in England. And that's the problem we have, whereas the best Argentinians play in Serie A and La Liga, and we have those leagues. So England's obviously key, but obviously we're biased for wanting the Premier League. But in the same breath, like, yeah, I think if they go in for England first, great. You are going to get your Raheem Sterling's, Harry Kane's, and it is the people that people want on the platform. But obviously getting the league means that someone like myself, I might think, I'm not buying a Harry Kane. I haven't got their funds. I don't want to be selling an Asian team to buy a Harry Kane. But I could look in the youth ranks of Man City and Tottenham and who's the next Harry Kane, and I can sit on that for a year. You know, I don't mind doing that as well. So that's the thing of England's great. If you got England on, I think it would, satisfy people to an extent. For now, maybe to buy them time.
But that's kind of my. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's it. And then, but it won't be long until people are like, yeah, great, we got England. When's the Premier League coming?
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I think like my wider point to keep going on it and not to drag this out too long is like if you even look at the biggest international teams in the world, if we look at Brazil, we have Alisson, we have Dani Alves, we have Marquinhos, we have Militao, we have Telles, we have Fabinho, we have Gomares, we have Anthony, Paqueta, we have Coutinho. The only one we don't have is Richarlison. All right. Yeah. Now let's quickly, we don't have Ederson, but he didn't start. Let's bounce over very fast to France just to see like another global powerhouse. We probably have most of Germany. But if we go and have a quick look at France, if we look at their lineup.
By the sounds of it, it's going to be any French player playing in England, we ain't got.
But I mean, like you're looking at we have the French. They had the French national team, obviously.
No, of course we did.
We have all them. But like the big one is England, isn't it? Because if you actually go and look at the England squad, that's when it actually gets really saucy. Because like we look at that and like there's Keane, Jared Bowen, who I thought was Scottish, Saka, Bellingham we have, Phillips, Gallagher, Reece James, Stones, Guehi, Gay, I think you meant to just say, Walker, Ramsdale. And then you get onto the bench, like there's a Phil Foden, Grealish, Mount, Sterling, Trippier. We have Trippier. Declan Rice we have, actually. But my point is, we actually have a strange amount of like the top. We have loads of the top players, and even like your De Bruyne's and your Lukaku's, and I know Lukaku didn't really do it in the Prem last season. The Haaland, who's gone there now. We actually have so many of them.
Well, this is it. Like, if they got England, like, you are ticking a lot of the top players, I think, off the list. And, you can't knock Sorare for what they have done. And I was, just having, when people delve into the Belgian leagues and always hard, but having those sort of players on the platform is what's going to bring more people to use the platform, and that's ultimately what we're after. So, yeah, the point with it being that if they go with England first, obviously with the World Cup coming up, is start a campaign, get some sort of advertising around it. It's going to bring more people in and hopefully show the Premier League what Sorare can do.
Mm. Yeah. So look, I'm not gonna we'll move on. But look, obviously getting Argentina is very good. I'm just having a quick look at the Premier League top scorers table. The only guy really in the top 10 that you'd miss if they didn't get the Premier League, the only one who we don't actually have access to, because you've obviously your De Bruyne's, Mane's, Ronaldo's. We have Salah. Son Heung-min is probably the highest profile player there, and Harry Kane. So what I'm saying is, if they got England, they tick so many boxes. The only one that you'd really be missing is Son Heung-min.
Yeah.
In terms of elite performers, there's even Bruno Fernandes is about. But anyway, I'm chatting shite.
Do you think it's the start of something though, John? Do you think this is just the start of some international teams coming on? Do you think they're going to bring on USA? Do you think they're going to be bringing on
100%? Yeah, I do. I think this is going to be a cascading thing. I think they're going to keep doing this up to the World Cup so that it can be a true World Cup fantasy game. I think.
Yeah, they only managed to do. There was only 3, wasn't it, with the Euros? Was it 3 teams?
I
think it was 3.
But I mean, that was over a year ago, wasn't it? So
yeah,
they've had that whole year to be looking at the World Cup and negotiating deals with the budgets of the big fundraisers they did and all that. So you have to think.
I wonder if they've still got the licenses with them. Obviously, I'm assuming they still got the French ones. Maybe they're bringing an updated French team, maybe an updated Belgium as well. And that's going to bring new players in, younger players in. It's going to be a different squad. So yeah, I think it's a good angle. I'm looking forward to the World Cup. That's something else I need to sort out. Have you got a World Cup team ready?
Not on purpose. I think I have Courtois, who's the goalkeeper will be my bottleneck, as it always is. In terms of international goalkeepers, if I go and look by position here, I'll just count rare and super rare cards. I've Donnarumma, who won't be there. Jan Oblak, I don't think he's there. Courtois will be there. That's my only guy. Nubel, but sure, he won't be starting. He'll probably be on the bench. Neuer injury, would he play, or have they another guy?
No, I'd say Neuer's still number 1, I think. But
yeah, but if Neuer got injured, would Nubel be the guy? I'm not going to pray for Big Manuel to get injured. But look, yeah, I don't know how I'm set. It'd be an interesting one. The next thing I wanted to mention quickly was Zidane. Again, we'll not dwell on this too much, but Zidane, the video that launched him was actually quite nice. He did talk about trading cards and stickers and whatever else, and he kind of gave it a bit Zidane properly talking about Sorare. It's none of this stock footage of him giving an interview from years ago. It was a bespoke, lovely piece of content. So yeah, Zidane, you any interest in Legends?
Not really. I had a little dabble, but I wasn't keen with the prizes as it wasn't for me. But I think the brand, they're building a brand, aren't they? Sorare, and having people like Mbappe and Zidane, they are the ultimate, aren't they? When you look at it, really. So I think the track they're going down is perfect for what they're trying to achieve and what hopefully we'll be still involved in years to come.
I wonder. I assume he's in his French kit, so he'll score for France.
Yeah, I don't see how
that's going to work. Appearing here. Is there a theme appearing here? Let me go to manager sales and let me go player type, or is it player edition? That's it, legend. In terms of the international ones, are any of them international other than French internationals? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked too deep. I got involved a bit at the beginning, but since then I haven't really been. Yeah, I've not been too deep into it. But I did notice he was French, but that is a really hardly used legend card, isn't it?
Oh, Beckenbauer's in the German top, isn't he? Basically, what I was looking at and trying to work out.
He scores for Bayern, doesn't he? Even though he's in the German top, does he?
Yeah, he does. That's what I'm trying to get at here, because basically, there might be a play in getting the Beckenbauer getting your man, the 2 French lads. What do you call them? Platini is in the French top, isn't he? And Zidane, and then you're starting to build an international legends squad, which means when the World Cup comes around, you can be sure they're going to put out a legends tournament. They are, and then you'll only be able to score if your guy has an international top on. I think that's the way it is, isn't it? If you have a Ronaldo in PSV Cup, is it?
Yeah,
He won't
yeah, he's
actually score
PSV.
for Brazil.
It's a bit
So
well. They'd have to keep going because obviously you can put a maximum of 3, and they have 3, don't they, at the moment? So
yeah. But anyway, my point is, yeah, I think they'll get a lot of the international teams in the lead up to that World Cup. And Zidane is here, and Zidane is in a France top, and Zidane is a great kind of guy to have associated, I suppose, in terms of publicity and an ambassador and whatever else. So not much more really I have to say about it, unless there is for you.
no.
Right, we're going to get to the community update, but one more quick thing before that is that there was an announcement there in the Discord looking at game week 289 to 292. It's the calendar. Normally, you look at these calendars, I do it too, and I go, I don't really give a shit. I'll just play the games as they come. Some people go, oh my God, I'm really going to optimize around this and build for it and look weeks ahead and get it stuck into the data. And fair play to you. You're a much better Sorare player than me. But there was something interesting here in the what's new 3 lines. I just wanted to talk about them briefly. So the underdog competition is getting a slight change of rules as it merges with the special Threekly. I don't know if this is a long-term thing or just over the next few weeks. All 5 players need to have an average score below 50, but the 5th card can be of any scarcity other than the main one, and it'll get 0 points. So basically, yeah, if it's the limited underdog, you go 4 limiteds, and then a common or a rare or a super rare or whatever. And as long as it's not the limited one, but it's going to get 0 points anyway. So that's one thing. Okay, whatever. That's a little nuance. Here's where it gets. This is the reason I bring this up. The winners of the super rare division in Asia and America in Game Week 290 and 292 are getting a star rare in addition to their Tier 1 super rare award. And the winners of the underdog super rare and unique division in 290 and 292 are also getting a star rare in addition to their Tier 1 super rare prize. So the reason that's interesting is that for a long time, we've said that the super rare division and basically super rare and unique division prizes in general, not maybe unique, but what I'm saying about here is like the underdog super rares and limited super rares and stuff. Like I won an underdog super rare and got a crap super rare. Can't even remember who it was.
Yeah.
But my point here is that a lot like tier 2 super rares and even tier 1 super rares a lot of the time, they can be pretty shit. So yeah, chucking in star rares makes that a really nice thing. And I don't know if this is anything to get excited for, or if this is actually any reflection on what next season will look like in Europe. But if all of a sudden under 23 super rare has a star rare pegged on, even some weeks, or even just a top spot,
yeah,
that makes that carrot look extra juicy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Would you want a carrot to be juicy? Would it entice you, or what do you want it to be? Extra sweet maybe is better than juicy. Who wants a juicy carrot?
Crunchy, isn't it?
An extra crunchy carrot. That carrot look extra crunchy with the fucking star rare on board. Do you know what I mean? Like, and again, this could be nothing. This could be a 1 or 2 game week thing, so they can burn through a few extra American and Asian tier or star rares and blah blah blah.
They're chopping and changing it, like with prizes. They're trying things out, aren't they? Because obviously they're looking at updating the reward pools and how it works with the update. But at the moment they've got the 3 clears, the underdog and the specialist, which everyone's getting on board for. But then obviously putting the 3 clear out, and then the over 32s has come out, and now they're adapting the specialist and the underdogs and things. So I would like to know where we're going, because at the minute it's hard to plan. You know, you're only planning for a month ahead, I suppose. Or a week ahead, or a game week ahead. So it's a bit difficult that way. I'm glad they're trying it, and we need full engagement. If you had everything running, no one's going to buy a keeper. Like, you're not going to just go out and buy a keeper just for one game week unless that keeper can be used for a few. So, but like you're saying, that they need to try it and have everyone involved and engaged in it to see see how happy people are with it. So yeah, I'm glad they're doing it, but at the same time, I sort of want to know where I'm going next week and the week after and the week after that. It's a little bit, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Because I mean, I know what you mean. It's one of those where if you kind of know what to expect from the super rare division longer term, people will buy them. This is one of those where, like, maybe they've been really clear. I've literally just looked at the announcement and not really dug in, to be quite honest. So people are probably at home banging their head off a wall going, John, would you ever shut up? They've said this, and I'm going, well, I didn't read it, so you're going to have to listen to me spout the wrong information. But it did just say about 290 and 292, so we'll see what happens. I just think, like, the only reason I bring it up is we've been crying out for bigger rewards in Super Rare. If the way to address that is giving a lower scarcity card, but like good quality, like good ones, that's okay. I would even love the ability to win like star limiteds and stuff. I know it's a bit stupid, but it beefs up the prizes. If I can have the chance of picking up an Mbappe for being sort of top 3, top 5 in the super rare division, I mean, I'm all about that.
Yeah, definitely. Did you see that DMP list? I think Hoodwink retweeted it yesterday. Do you remember we were wondering what that for these new game weeks they were going to release some DMPs?
Yeah.
The list has come out, and you've got like Verts is on there as well, and there's like there's some big players on there, and I was quite surprised because I was expecting like bottom end DMPs, just getting rid of clearing some players out, and obviously you've got your tier 0s, tier 1s, tier 2s, but they've actually been released now to who's going to be in the pools.
Yeah, I could probably go and find it here. I can't find it in Hoodwink's page, so maybe I need to go into actually So Rare.
It's actually might be in the Loyals page. I think he retweeted it on that one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll find that in 2 seconds. And yeah,
if you look at the
so if anyone, we haven't actually mentioned that yet. For anyone listening, you probably heard in about, I don't know, 5 episodes by now, nearly 10% of our guests are part of this exclusive club called the Loyals.
I reckon it's more than that. But Bob,
yeah, we've had a lot.
Yeah,
but yeah. So look, I'm having a look here. I'm going to read a few of these out. This is actually really exciting. Some of these names are huge.
Yeah.
So a tier 0 DMP. You're looking at Pedri, Verts, Fati, Mawardashvili, Kobel, Anthony, Bijlow, Martinez, like Lissandro. We have Woj Szczesny. Vardiol is huge. I'll not read them all out. I'll read the ones I like. Chiesa, Felix, Cherky, Reina, De Kaiser. Don't know why Verts. Verts. Why did I not say his name? Did I say his name?
I did.
Oh yeah, Pedri, Verts, Fati are the top 3.
But there's some big players that they can't obviously, or they won't put out because people will be disappointed right now. If you won the Verts as a tier 0 right now, you'd be, as much as you'd like happy to have him, you would be a bit disappointed the fact you can't use him. So what are they going to do with these players? And I think it's well, I was surprised to see the names on the list.
You go over to even tier 1s, right?
I know.
Daniel Malin, Pino, for Mihailovic, I don't know, but Arno Groneveld. We'll go down. There's a few nicer ones than that.
Wasn't it who hasn't played the last 5 games? Was that what they classed as DMPs? So even if it was just a short-term 6 weeks, 8-week injury, they could find themselves on that list because they won't be in the pools anymore.
Buscagli, absolute monster. Per sure is my guy. Sofiane Diop. So I'm just kind of finding any. Lum Shuana. I think he tore up he was the under 19 Euros. He tore up for France. I don't know. There's a bunch of like basically nice cards here. Is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, they can't give away. So I thought that was a nice little inclusion because I wasn't, when someone says you're doing DMP cards, you're expecting cards you don't know of, you haven't heard of, they're 35, 36. But that was not what I was expecting when I opened that list.
Yeah, no, some banging cards. I'm picking up a Pedri.
Exactly, but I don't know where they're giving them away. Is this in the over 32 categories or these special weeklies? Because they're not. You're not going to get them in your standard regional, in your standard regionals, are you? These are going to be the special weeklies, are they?
They definitely said this recently. They said it recently where you can win it. It might have been the over 32s. I honestly can't remember. They did say somewhere. Maybe it was a special thing. I can't remember, but they have stipulated where it's going to be. I
think it's good that they're there. It's good that they're there. They're coming out, and people will.
Yeah, but I mean, these cards have been out of the prize pools all season. Do you know what I mean? Like next season, they need to have a mechanism to beef out prize pools where you can win these throughout the season.
Yeah,
because it massively beefs the rewards. I mean, there's so many cards there, and so many cards I'd love. And just because they're DMPs doesn't mean they're shit guys to have. They're probably the guys you're buying.
Yeah,
they're probably literally the under 23s I'm hunting for because I'm buying them now while no one wants them. So when they come back in the team, I have them. So fair play. This is a good start. So let me see. Where were we? Was there anything else to talk about that? No. I think we're ready to get stuck into the community update. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
I don't think you're ready. All right. So I'll ask you first and foremost. Kind of hope we actually disagree on all this, but maybe we don't. I never really disagree with too many people who talk to me. So I don't know where you're going to come in. What did you think of the community update?
I'd have to say a bit disappointed because I thought there'd be more football involved. I'm happy with the baseball.
That's
But
what I'm seeing
I'm
everywhere.
disappointed.
Yeah, and I get it. This is
But do we
basically
want
right.
too much, John? That's the thing. Do we want too much? Are we expecting too much? Do we already know everything? We've got the monthly newsletters. We know what's going on. So did they really have anything to update? But I would have preferred them to call it an MLB. You know, they should have just said it was a baseball update and purely baseball. But because we were expecting a crossover, maybe.
You know what they've done here, right? I can safely say there was zero on football. There was nothing I heard new. There wasn't a thing that I heard that I was like, oh, nah, there wasn't a thing on football that was new. They, look, oh God, I'm just going to say it. It felt like they were circle jerking and just praising themselves, licking their own holes for the first 10 minutes, which is fine. You have lots to lick your holes about. It's the most corporate video I've ever seen in my life, which is fine. I get that's the image you're going for.
It's the brand again.
It's very like clean cut, super like, you know, like even the editing style, like coming in at him from the side while he's starting, and you know, like he's not even looking at the camera, he's presenting to what he's reading off the screen is what's happening. But you know that
I quite like it. I think it's
really. I like it.
I like it. Yeah,
it's really good. It's really professional, but it's as corporate as it possibly comes, is what I'm saying.
well,
which is fine. You know, that's what you're going for. You know, you're going for these big SoftBank investors, blah blah. You play the game. I get it. I'm not even complaining about that. But the first 10 minutes, it's almost like this is the one piece of content that we make that like our investors are going to watch, or it feels that way, or that like, because it's like they know none of that was news to us.
Yeah,
the diehard people who play the platform and call out their every move and follow every tweet and every Discord message. So like there was nothing in it for us. It was just them stating all their numbers and doing this and doing that. And it did feel like, look, if it was just a pure community, when you're getting with a community update though, they have to kind of address the whole platform. And they did in their heads address football, but it's not like there was anything to announce. They updated us on it, but there was nothing to update us on.
Was it called a Sorare announcement, or was it actually called a Major League Baseball announcement? Because I just assumed, because I seen all the hype about it, I was at work, I didn't realize it was happening. Then when I heard, there's a big live going on, I thought, oh, is it the Premier League? Is it something else? Like, what's going on? And then it was all baseball. That's why I was disappointed, because I assumed when there was a Sorare announcement that it was going to be some way football linked. That's the only reason I was disappointed.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, if it was just that, people would have just. If it was just like, this is an MLB announcement, everyone would have been like, okay, cool, we're waiting for that. And if everyone acts like, oh, I just wasted my time, I was here for the football. Bottom line is you would have tuned in anyway. We all know you would have.
Yeah.
Who are you kidding? I think, let me see. Watch our community event live now as we cover soccer updates and unveil MLB. Okay, so basically, yeah, the problem here is that they said they're going to update us on soccer. So people were expecting, not necessarily the Premier League, but people were expecting something new. And yes, they gave us a few things. And like, I'm not going to hold it against them. I don't think they've done anything wrong. But maybe they shouldn't have let on there was going to be any football, because it gets people's hopes up.
Exactly.
But,
yeah, that's what it was.
And again, on the whole corporate thing and giving them shit about that, I'm not giving them shit about the style of it. It's just people need to realize what it is. It's not necessarily like for the diehards and getting in and talking to us about the nitty gritty of reward algorithms and DMPs and this. It's a very like high, big picture view from that standpoint. I don't even know how to describe this. I'm blabbering. I'm going to get to the main part of it. And that's the actual MLB bit. I think they did well with it. I think it was a nice announcement. If you're into MLB, it's a very exciting announcement, the way they did it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's very well done. They get your man, is it Aaron Judge or something, and some guy who's like some president or something at MLB. Very professional looking. But, you know, even again, like, this isn't a critique. Do you know, here's the thing. It's very American. That's what it is. Isn't it? So definitely. Like us, you know, and most of the people who listen to this, most of the listeners here are European. Some of them are American. Hello, Americans. But like, it's very like, we're very quick to like call bullshit or be very like, I think we're a bit more crude. People hear how I talk in the podcast. It's a bit more like, I don't present this like an American might, where it's like, hey guys, welcome to the So Far So Rare podcast. This week, we're going to show you the biggest news you need to know. And it's amazing and it's excellent. And that bit, it's very much like, I feel like we're rough around the edges here or something. I don't know how to describe it, but
we say it as it is. So people look at it and you go, I'm disappointed, when you could have said, I understand, they're going for the baseball. It's big. It's going to be great for Sorare, but I was expecting a little bit more football. We don't fluff it up straight away. They just go, nah, we're not happy with that. Where's the football update? It's what we do.
But that's the other thing. Like, I'm giving out as well to people because I think, like, I'm kind of lost for words here. I don't know how to put my finger on everything I'm trying to say. This is the most stumped I've been in trying to do something, because I actually think it's like all good. I'm happy with it, and anyone who is unhappy with it, I think they're an idiot. But it's not like I get if people are unhappy because they feel they wasted their time going there for a football announcement and they just got MLB stuff. I get that. I feel it's a bit petty because you would have watched it anyway. We all know you would have, but I get it. What I don't get is people acting like, oh, I don't give a shit about baseball. Oh, this is shit. Who cares? No one cares. Cop the fuck on. Do you know what I mean? Like, every new sport is good for the platform. It's good for the price of your football cards. It's good for the exposure of the platform. It's good for variety. It's good for the brand. It's good for the leverage of this. It's good for the deals they can make. It's good for everything. There isn't a bad thing about them getting baseball.
No, 100%.
For me.
To be honest,
and if you don't like it, don't do it.
Baseball. Do you?
I don't care about baseball. I don't care about baseball, but am I going to give it a dabble? Yes.
Same, exactly that. I'm looking forward to it. It's a whole different journey. Let's put it this way. Again, Asian football. If we'd have had this chat when Sorare first started, and I first come on, you said, how do you feel about Asian football? I said the exact same thing. Not interested, not going to go there. But hey, if we have a conversation in 6 months, a year time, I bet you I know bits about baseball. Aaron Judge or whatever his name is could come knock on my door, deliver pizza tonight. I'd say thank you and shut the door. I wouldn't have a clue who he is.
And you go back in and say, geez, he was handsome. Such a handsome pizza delivery guy in my life.
That's it. But, 6 months
time, off topic? Can we go off topic quickly? Here's one to break up the heaviness and recalibrate my brain. Do you tip a delivery driver?
Yes.
Honest.
If I'm paying cash, yes. If I have cash in the house. Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Because it's all Deliveroo and Just Eat now.
Yeah.
And I do not carry cash.
Yeah.
And I don't leave cash by my door to tip a delivery guy. And I'll tell you something for nothing. I got delivery from Nando's the other day. Yet last night, for the first time, my girlfriend wanted Nando's. I wouldn't really get Nando's much because I think it's a bit overpriced for what it is. Controversial take. Maybe that's a hot take. Maybe people disagree. Yeah. But the delivery was a $5.
Yeah.
And you want me to give you another £2? A $5?
Yeah.
You're round the corner, mate. Do you know what I mean? But then I understand the other side of it is, and it's different than America for Americans. Americans, you tip everyone. We don't tip everyone like you do. I tip when I go out for a meal. I won't tip if I buy a coffee, but I'll tip if I sit in and get my breakfast or something. But with the delivery driver, over here, some of my friends all tip the delivery driver. And I'm not adverse. I'm not against it. If the delivery fee is like £2 or free delivery or whatever else, and I have cash, I'm all over it. It's not like I'm stingy. It's just a really hard one. They almost need like a card machine you can tap off them. Because, anyway, that just came into my head.
Don't you feel that when you say you're getting a delivery and it's £19.70 and you've only got a £20 note, you almost feel a bit guilty. You need to find that extra couple of quid because, like, you don't want to say keep the change on 30p. You don't want to take the 30p.
Yeah. It's one of those that you just don't worry about it, but then it's like, I've just tipped the guy.
You want a buffer. If you've got 20 quid, you're looking at spending £18 on the takeaway to hand that 20 quid over and be happy with what you've done.
That's it. So, like, like in a restaurant recently, I don't carry cash. I need to start carrying cash. But am I going to start carrying cash just for tipping people? If I was an American, absolutely. But some places have the add gratuity bit on the card machine. But here's the one for you, right? You're there and you're out for a meal, and we were out the other night and got a proper meal. Like, you're talking, for the two of us, it was like 110 quid or something, like a proper meal. And I had no cash, and I went to pay for card, and they'd no function to add a tip via card. So what do you want me to do here? Like, I'm not going to walk around the corner, go to a cash machine to come back to hand you 20 quid. Do you know? So it's like, I just have to be the stingy bastard. It's awkward. I'll tell you something as well. While we're off topic, can I tell you, I had the most awkward handshake of my life last night. I was playing 7-a-side football. Sorry, I don't do this often, Youngy, but I've got a few things on my mind I need to get
go for it.
we were playing 7-a-side football, and it's like a pickup game. So you just book in £6, land in, anyone could be there. And I went to shake his hand, and he went to fist bump me.
Oh,
So then I switched to fist bump, and he switched to handshake. And then he grabbed my hand. And then I went to like make it into a shake, and he closed his hand. And then we ended up twiddling fingers like this.
yeah.
And then I was like, my mind was blown.
I just would have to walk out.
But like I'm not the type of person who just lets that ride. I had to take the piss out of us for it. But like that was the most like awkward thing that has ever happened in my life. I literally said that. I was like, I'm pretty sure we're related now. But anyway, that's all the stuff.
If you see him again, you got your own special private handshake now.
I'm playing football tonight after this at 8 o'clock. I'm hoping he goes again, and I'm going to purposely try and mess it up with him again. I'm actually going in to mess it up. I'm going to see what he's go for, and I'm going for the opposite.
The other way.
Yeah. I'm gonna take my shoe off and whip up my foot. Just slap my foot into his hand.
Go with it.
Next week we'll go even further. No, I'm not going to say it. But so right back to Sorare, what we were ranting about, the community update. So I personally think it was great. I think it gave a lot of excitement about MLB. We can talk a bit about the MLB stuff. I understand why people are frustrated that it was billed as also a football announcement when they told us nothing about football. But if that's what you're annoyed about, fair. But if you're annoyed about the fact that MLB exists, look at yourself.
No, I agree. I think they couldn't have two more contrasting sports, though, really, because I don't think a lot of baseball are into football and football are into baseball. Like baseball, basketball, American sports, they're two very contrasting sports. But I definitely think people are big FOMO'd into buying into baseball cards. They might start just with the commons on the limiteds and things, but I do think people will FOMO in and vice versa. Like that's the plan, surely. And to have a hub where more sports come in and you can go with what you please.
Mm. So apparently baseball is a very big fantasy game. I'm trying to look up here what it actually rates. If you Google it, what are the biggest fantasy sports? Apparently 75% of sports bettors played fantasy sports. This is 2018. 78% played fantasy football. 39% played baseball. And that's fantasy football, meaning American football. Okay. Only 14% played fantasy soccer. Now, this might be in America. Because otherwise those numbers are a bit mad. But regardless, the point is a lot of people do play fantasy baseball. So if they can hit those people and get them in the market, like we're all going to go in and dabble in baseball like mad people, maybe they'll go in and dabble in football.
You're just going limited, or you're going to be going in some rares?
I'll probably buy like 10 limited cards and get decent ones for like the community gallery bit. And I'll probably try and like get someone to guide me in that and like stack as much as possible. So there's this little rotation to worry about and like,
I definitely need some guidance. Oh, Bob Flynn, the loyal Bob Flynn. He's he knows his baseball by the sounds of it. So I think I'll be going to him. I'm not going for your top guys. There's no threshold, is there either? So it's a tough one. I don't really know the angle.
So yeah. Let's take So we'll move on from actually the community update itself in terms of how it was taken. Like there was a bit of ranting for me. Yeah, exactly what I expected. Maybe I just had it in my head. I wasn't going like, oh, we're getting a big football today. I was like, this is baseball, great. I'd kind of written it off. That was just personally what I'd done. So I found it hard to empathize because I wasn't building it up in my head for a week like maybe some people were. In my head, it was just like, this is happening and it's baseball. Who cares? I'll watch it and it'll be interesting, but like I'm not expecting anything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, completely.
So anyway, I've blabbed on about that enough, very incohesively, but in terms of the actual nitty gritty, they've changed the scarcity numbers, and I think that's weird.
Yeah, I'm not going to try and get my head around it. I'm just going to have to see how it all pans out, I think.
So the unique is 100, the super rare, no, the unique is 1, the super rare is 100, the rare is 1,000, and the limited's 5,000 now.
But that tells you they're expecting a massive influx, does it not?
It does or it doesn't, and here's where it gets funny. There's 250 licensed clubs. There's only 30 MLB teams. So you almost need 10 times the number to equate to actually the number of soccer cards. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. And because they're doing an SO7, obviously it's going to take...
You need more cards.
Yeah, and also it makes... Because there's less players, there's less chance of having the same lineups, isn't it?
But here's one for you that I've only just considered. they're going to have like a limited and a rare and a super rare division and all that and unique and a common. But they don't have champion and challenger and Asia and America.
That's what I'm saying. It's pure. That's it.
Wait there a second. So I have in my head you're going to need to use more cards, but if you only enter them in one region and instead of like 6 limited regions having, well, they have under 23s or rookie
maybe. But they're all
tournaments.
going to be based around only those 30 teams. There'll never be any more because no one else plays in Major League Baseball because Asian baseball wouldn't be MLB, and this is solely MLB, is it not? So it can only ever be then.
Do they have like different conferences over there? Something like the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference, or like I don't know. Emily, if there's any like American baseball lovers in your office, if they want to be on a podcast, go and find them. We need to pickle their brains. Yeah. Anyway, so we might get some random American on the podcast in the next few minutes. Equally, we might not. But so they're going to have one region and they're going to have that many cards. It's a really weird one. Look, we're going to just have to see how it works. I'm sure they've crunched the numbers. They're game economists and data nerds.
It's going common only, isn't it, for a week or two? Is that right?
Common only, and then they're going to bring in limited. Yeah. But you're going to be able to put in like 3 commons and 4 limiteds until they get enough supply out for people.
That gives people like us, though, because I'm willing to give it a go. I think I'm going to give it a go. So we just need, if we buy 3 or 4 limiteds, we can play for a month and see where it goes.
Yeah, exactly. You can give it a crack. And then I think the rare, super rare, unique things come like next month.
Yeah.
Are there any other nuances? Like the cards looked all right. They're coming out. It'd just be really interesting. See, I actually wonder, and this is a really small detail, I wonder how they're going to issue common cards to us. I wonder will they just airdrop them and they'll land in your wallet randomly, or will you have like a...
You used to have to pick the favourite teams, didn't you? If you sign up to Sorare now, do you still have to pick the favourite teams? How do they do it now on Sorare?
Unless it's changed recently. The last beginner's tutorial I did, yeah. Because I remember saying to people, just pick Liverpool, PSG, and Real Madrid, or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, yeah. Definitely. So
don't pick like, oh, I'm an avid Frankfurt fan. Are you? Don't pick them. Do you know what I mean?
100%, yeah.
I've always loved Betis. Have you? Don't pick them.
You don't anymore. You don't anymore. No, maybe they do the same thing. Maybe you pick 3, 4 teams, and baseball teams.
Yeah,
and go from there. But remember, even when you picked the players you liked, you still had your others. You still had like your other random players pop in, your Asian players and your American players. So maybe it'd be the similar one. You pick the Yankees, and you still get players from all sorts of teams.
It'd be interesting to see. But yeah, all that's common. I also can't wait to see if they like do like a blend of the two. Oh, we might have an American. We have an American.
That's right.
Hello.
We can't hear you, Emily.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, we can. Hello.
No, I'm right here.
Oh, cool. Hello. What's your name?
My name is Mukhtar.
Mukhtar, how's it going? Are you a baseball fan?
I'm a huge baseball fan, huge Mets fan too, unfortunately.
Oh, I was at a Mets game earlier this year. When was it? Like May or something? It was brilliant. They charged me like $16 though for like 2 chicken goujons. I wasn't happy about that.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, but the food's really good.
Yeah, I agree. But here, the reason we asked Emily to go and find a baseball fan is, you see the way the MLB has, is it 30 teams? Do they all play against each other, or is it a case of, are there like different conferences, or do they split up, or what's the story?
15 teams split between the National League and the American League. It used to be that the American League, their pitchers wouldn't bat. But now, this year, they decided that everybody, last year too, they decided no pitcher is going to bat at all. So now there's really no difference between the two except for how they split out, which is split into 5 teams in 3 divisions. There's the East, the Central, and the West. So that is how the 30 teams are split up.
So you have an East, Central, and West division for both the American and the National League. So there's essentially 6 divisions of 5 teams.
Yes, and not every team plays every other team. Next year, they're going to try to fit that in the schedule, and they're probably going to succeed. But right now, that's not the case.
This is a mad sport. And then is there like some sort of like, the equivalent of like a Super Bowl where they all go and play each other to see who's the best team?
So halfway through the season, there's the All-Star game where fans can vote, and then the rest of the teams and owners can vote on pitchers to decide. But everybody gets, like, fans get to decide players, and then the playoffs at the end of the year. That's in October. October baseball is like where the Super Bowl is, the World Series, where the best from the National League and the best from the American League play each other until it's best one from National League, best American. That's the World Series.
Wow.
It'd be cool having those stars, though, John.
Yeah. Is the All-Star game like a big deal? Because it's on like next weekend, isn't it?
It's in a week from, I think, yesterday. It's sometime early next week, and it is a big deal. It's like supposed to be the best of the best who's having a really good season. The home run derby happens the day before the All-Star game, where they have like the best home run hitters around, just trying to hit more home runs than anybody else. It's a sight.
Who throws balls at them to hit the home runs? That's something that's been annoying me.
The batters decide. Bryce Harper is a really big name in baseball. The first time he went to the All-Star game, he had his dad throw out the pitches to him.
Oh, so you can get like, so you just literally like underarm them.
Yeah, it's you can underarm it, I think, but I've only ever seen them just gently throw. Like batting practice before the game is when they just gently throw the ball out to like warm yourself up and how many swings you take. If an MLB player asked me, I could do it, no problem. Like anybody could do it. Emily could do it.
Well, you might be stretching there. It's gonna kill me. But here, so like that, like the old 4-finger fastball or whatever it's called, or like the knuckleballs and all that. So like no one's doing any of that sort of shit at this. This is a case of let's let this guy hit as many home runs as he can hit.
In the home run derby, yes.
Oh, cool. So they must just smash them.
Oh yeah, like 500-foot home runs are not uncommon in the home run derby. These dudes are like really good at hitting the ball that far.
That's mad. Okay, I'm going to ask you one part. Do you have any questions, Youngy, about baseball?
No, I'm waiting for your tutorial videos, John.
Yeah, we've got so many. I know they're on the way, but I'm going to ask you.
I do know how it works. I don't know. I remember playing it when I was young. When I was younger, video games, same way as you learnt the rules to American football, playing the John Madden games, But all in all, no exposure whatsoever.
Maybe we need. That'd be a good way to start learning it. I might have to buy like an MLB game and start playing it.
That's the way.
Here's my last question for you. You're talking to loads of people. You're gonna move the market here. Who are the first 3 guys you'd buy? Who are the best 3 players that you like? And you don't like be a bit creative here. I don't want to just hear like Ohtani and Trout.
Okay, realistically, you got to have a good starting pitcher. You got to pick up Jacob deGrom in his health. You have to.
Jacob who?
Jacob deGrom. He's hurt this season so far. He's the best pitcher in baseball, hands down.
Okay.
And that's my starting pitcher. If we don't want a big name, you probably pick up somebody like, Christian Yelich is having a down year, but he's a very good outfielder in his prime. He's a little hurt, but he's a really good outfielder. I'd pick up Christian Yelich. And then I'd pick up somebody young like Juan Soto from the Nationals, who's another really good outfielder. I know that's a big name, but he's young. He has his whole career ahead of him. He's like, if I was building a team, and I don't want to pick big names like Ohtani, Trout, Alonso on the Mets, and Judge from the Yankees and all those other players. I think that
is Judge big, by the way. Is Judge like a big deal because he was on that MLB announced video? We don't have a clue who he is. We're just like, who's that guy?
He is first of all, he's huge. He's like 6'8", so he's big, and then he was rookie of the year. He set the rookie home run record the year he was a rookie, and then it was broken next year. Right now he's hit 30 home runs before the All-Star break, which is a huge deal. He's an extremely talented baseball player.
Do you get any young baseball players? Like, do you get many like 18, 19-year-olds, or are they all like seasoned, primed 24, 25-year-olds?
That's usually the case. There are a few exceptions, like Juan Soto, I think is 22 or 20, younger than me. And then you have people like Bryce Harper, who debuted when he was 19 years old. And now that was 10 years ago. He's 29 now, and he's stuck in Philadelphia for the next 8 years.
Yeah.
It really depends on the talent. There's a catcher in the Mets organization who's 20, and he just got promoted to AAA, which is right before the major leagues.
How long do pitchers' shoulders last? Do pitchers batters or batsmen? What do you call them?
Batters, hitters.
Hitters. Okay.
How long does a shoulder last? That depends on the pitcher. There are like some pitchers will blow their arms out really quickly. Some pitchers like it's all about endurance. So like on average, I mean, I don't know. Bartolo Colon doesn't throw hard. A lot of times you see velocity drop down. You're not throwing the ball as hard anymore. But Bartolo Colon is like 48 years old, and he's like, I still want to pitch. So it's really just a question of how much are you willing to put in versus how much you can perform, and then if a team is willing to take a chance on you.
Wow. Well, we've had a bit of a school day in baseball today, Youngy. Any other tips for Matt? Would you give any tips or like, okay, here's one for you. We have like a bunch of people who listen to this who are all like football, so like soccer fans in Europe and a few American listeners. And lots of us do not have a clue about baseball. Like, you know how little we know based off speaking to us for 5 minutes. What should people do or can people do like to learn more, or like, is there anything they should know, or like really obvious things that you wish you'd known whenever you were probably like 3 years old when you were first finding out? I don't even know what question I'm asking you. I'm basically saying, you know what we all are. We're all idiots who kind of want to start to learn. What should we do? What
would be the opening paragraph of Baseballs for Dummies books?
Yeah, that's it. Opening paragraph, Baseball for Dummies. That's the one.
If an opening paragraph for Baseball for Dummies, I would say try to find the closest game, be it minor league, be it major league. Sit and watch everything that happens, and just ask yourself why. Like, why did that pitcher throw that pitch exactly where he threw it? Because a lot of times they're trying to locate exactly why did this batter swing at that pitch? Why didn't he swing at another pitch? There's like a lot of, if you watch any given baseball game and you ask yourself why, at not everything, but just like anything that's like, that's interesting. How did that hitter do that when the pitcher's job is to not do that? Why did the pitcher throw that pitch? Watching a game and being open to the question of why anything happened at any given moment, but not everything, you would learn a lot about the game.
So we need to just watch the game. There's no shortcut.
No,
we need to actually just watch it.
You mentioned picking up an MLB game, I assume a video game. That's a good way to learn it too, to go through the tutorial and whatnot. I love those MLB The Show games. That's
I could start my streaming career. I could start my Twitch streaming career and just start streaming like an idiot plays MLB, and we can all learn it together. But yeah, Mukhtar, it's been an absolute pleasure. Maybe you can pop in for another 5-minute lesson whenever we're stuck someday.
I stream on Twitch. If you want to help with that Twitch career, hit me up.
Oh, he's a man. Thanks, Emily, and thanks, Mukhtar. We'll see you later.
Yeah, that's interesting, though.
What a lovely guy. That was a nice little impromptu kind of, that wasn't planned.
Definitely.
It has got me intrigued. It's got me intrigued.
Yeah, it has. The thing is, like, there is a lot to learn, isn't there? Like, when you say about third baseman, like, you were guessing. I seen you slowly dying guessing. But I was with you. I was thinking, that sounds about right. But the truth is, I have no idea. But I'm in.
Yeah. No, I'm interested now. This could be like when I tried to get into Asian football and lost interest after like buying a team and was like, I'll stick them in every week, but I can't be arsed waking up at that time. That's the big issue, I think, for us is time difference. Because you know the dedication it takes to follow a league or a sport from another country.
100%. This. I don't think, like, I do honestly believe I will buy a lineup and just stick them in there, ask for as much help as I can get and see how it goes. Because if I'm up late enough, I will be watching the MLS games. I obviously need players in, I need players involved to watch it. I wouldn't just sit there watching a random game that my players aren't involved in. And obviously, if I'm up early enough for the Asia football, but Saturday's going to go crazy now, aren't they? Let's be honest. When is it? 3-4 weeks? We're going to have like every league open. There's going to be Sorare notifications from midnight to midnight. It's going to go wild. I don't know if I've got time for baseball, but
like a full-time job.
Stick it in. Yeah, it's becoming that already.
There's two quick things I want to shout out quickly, and then we're going to answer some questions. Okay. So the first thing I want to shout out is just one of the retweeters of our podcast announcement post. Do you want to tell us about your relationship with this man?
Oh, Maxime Darpino. So when I first got into European football, Oostend was a team that were relatively cheap. They still are in the grand scheme of the Belgian leagues. But he was a midfielder I picked up quite early on before limited were out. And he won me my first half-decent reward. And he was constantly in my threshold team. So obviously I started tagging him on Twitter and just tag his name away, put his picture up, put his score up, put the team he was in, seeing he was captain. And then off the back of that, there's only a few tweets. He liked my tweet and then followed me back on Twitter. I thought, I don't want to be a fanboy and just jump in his DMs. It's all a bit, bit too much. But then he picked up an injury. And then when he picked up the injury, I dropped him a little message saying, "Hey, Max, hope it's not too bad, mate. All the best." And he messaged me back later that night. It's not as bad as we thought it was. I'll probably be out for about 4 weeks. I should be back in training.
Insider trading.
Yeah, 2 to 3 weeks. But that is sort of how it went down. I don't speak to him all the time. It's not like we're best of buddies. But it was. I just thought the fact that he is a player and a good player for Sorare. Sorare. He's not massively known around the world, but he's a bit of a cult hero on Sorare. To have someone like that who follow you back, and imagine sitting on transfer deadline night. And then all of a sudden, Newstend's putting out there's a number one kit. There's going to be a new keeper. Apparently, it might be Nardi from Lorient and things like this. And I'm literally sat there, 11 o'clock at night, transfer deadline night, chatting with Maxime Darpino about world transfers, European transfers. That would never have happened if I hadn't joined this. And then when the tweet went out last night, I dropped him a message, showed him that he used me little thumbnail. And that was it.
Yeah.
In a couple of minutes, he liked it, retweeted it. Fantastic. What a legend.
Yeah. No, it's class. It is class. I think that could be a first outside maybe Tony Watt when he come on. But I'll Maxime getting involved. Fair play to him. And it's class. It's the things that have come with Sorare already. Like me, it's the same. My love ends with Danny Parejo and the shirt that ended up getting signed. And
have you got the shirt? With you now?
But I haven't got it yet, but I trust it. Like, who else is ever going to want that shirt in the world? You know what I mean? So it'll make its way to me one way or another. Yeah. But look, speaking of that thumbnail, we're going to get into some questions. There was one thing I wanted to shout out, which was that shout out to just Dazer. And who's he doing it with? There's two of them doing it. They're doing that Sorare World Cup. Even World League.
I hadn't even signed up to it. I've been so busy the last few days. Have you jumped in, John?
I just put a wee thumbs up under something. It's Bob Flynn and Dazer, I think, are at it. And Sorare Jiwa has done the artwork. So Jiwa has done the artwork. Sorare Data World League. So basically, they've set up like 11 divisions, 110 managers. It's going to be 11, I said, with 4 subs. Promotion, you get 2 people go up a division, 2 people go down. 9 game weeks. There's 11 limited rewards up for grabs. League coordinators, all sorts of stuff going on, basically. Massive task, but a really fun thing for the Twitter community. So look, best of luck to them. I don't know if it's too late for people to get involved, so I'm sorry if you've just heard about it here and you're like, I want to get involved, and then they're going to tell you no. But it'll be fun to play. I think I start in Division 4. I think they were randomly allocated, I'm not sure. And there's some interesting people in there, but like lambs to the slaughter, the lot of them.
Do you remember to settle your lineups? Because I forget. I forgot Sorare Data last week. I forget Mega. I don't mean to. It's just the game week goes by. You think you've done it, but it comes around so fast. You actually haven't done it. You go to check it. You haven't entered. You're like, so I don't know about entering more leagues. Brags.
I haven't been entering Sorare Data's league at all because I don't actually have the amount. I don't think I have enough cards to actually do
players. It. Yeah, you need at least 15.
I mean, if it let limiteds in, and I could, but I mean, I'm just looking at it here, like I'm literally sticking in like
they do have limiteds now, and they are limited on a rare league now, isn't it? So
I think it depends on where you're at.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Anyway, no, so I haven't. But when Europe comes back, I would always set my Sorare Data lineups, and I try and go for Sorare Mega as well. But anyway, there were the 2 things I wanted to shout out. Let's get stuck into a few questions, and as always, we'll go from most liked to the least liked. So A Robbo says, who's going to be in the biggest state come the end of the Thursday night? So London City meetup, you've heard it about it a million times, 5th of August, but I think the Loyals are having a little love in on the 4th of August. So one of you is going to end up in bits, I'd say. Who is going to be the biggest lightweight? That's what I'm going to phrase it as.
Lightweight. I don't know about lightweight. I just think Hood's ready for a party, and he's going to be cartwheeling over tables by 9 o'clock.
I will tell you this about Hoodwink, right? He is off his game. So he came over to Barcelona when I was there, and we'd been out pinting. Now, to be fair, I think I drank like the lion's share of the sangria. I came out in jokes, so no one knew who was drinking what. It only came out the day later. One of the lads ended up driving home. Drove home, which was mad. But the other 2 lads, the guy who was recording my vlog was kind of scared that he'd be too drunk to work. So he kind of eased off. And Alberto, the other guy, was there, eased off as well. So me and Hoodwink were banging in the sangrias, right? And I was like, I have to get up tomorrow and perform. I have to get up tomorrow. I'm doing a vlog. Yeah. And he brought me into this bar, and it was last orders, and I was like, I'll have a pint. So he ordered me a pint, but he also ordered me like a double Jack and Coke. And I was like, lad, we're literally buying a hangover here. This is like, it's 2 a.m. You know what I mean? We're going to bed after this. He bought me a double Jack and Coke. So anyway, got it down us, and he was still looking for a party. He honestly, I swear to God, it was time to go to bed. And he was, I swear, I was like, I'm going to bed. He wanted to go in a Pasha. He was like debating going to Pasha on his own. He was like, I'm away. I have no responsibilities here. I want to party. So he was, I don't think he went in the end, but he was, loose cannon. So I think he's a good bet for the guy who'd be in the biggest state. 100%.
Wonder if that'd be on the Thursday or the Friday, though, or both.
Both, at least. And then into the next week. So F.I. Gardner wants to know, do you think the Leeds United scouts are using Sorare to identify their targets?
Funnily, like the people they've been linked with are Opta. You know, it's the Opta stats, isn't it? So maybe they do technically use Sorare using the Opta stats. Do you remember people saying about Football Manager? How like if some managers followed Football Manager to get the players, the Wonder Kids. So you do wonder whether it is a database for them, or a point of reference at least.
I think what we need to realize is, right, we all look at scouts, okay? So like just scouts, like football scouts, as like these all-seeing, all-knowing entities that are just like amazing at their job, and they're crazy. Like, oh my God, the scout for such and such, geez, he knows his stuff. I have no doubt they do, right? I have no doubt they know more than me. But the level of data that has come out over the last, say, 20 years versus how football used to be, and it used to all be eye tests and scouting guides and things, the level of the data, and when you look at some of the people in this community and the levels that they go to, and even the intricacy of like the Sorare matrix of scoring, do you know what I mean? There's a lot there that, based off the data that we all consume and the matches we watch, Sorare fans and users and whatever you want to call us, like we some of us more than others, but if you take us all, like I consider myself a bit of a chump. You throw me in a room with every single person in the city I'm in, I'm probably top 0.001% in terms of like global football knowledge.
Completely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm probably not even top 20% of like Sorare managers. So what my point is, we need to give ourselves credit here. Like, I don't necessarily think the Leeds United guy plays Sorare. But are we looking at the same players? Absolutely. Is he looking at the same thing we're looking at? Absolutely. Brendan Aronson, Luis Sinistera, Tyler Adams, Rasmus Christensen. They're all young players that we've all known about for a few years now.
Yeah.
Not all of them I've known about, but I've known about all of them for at least a year. But Mark Rocca, obviously. But yeah.
We were just watching the Premier League, and then there'd be a new signing announced. You'd have no idea who that person was. No clue whatsoever. Year upon year, and you just wait to see him play. Now all of a sudden, there's signings being announced. You're like, oh, I know him from Bruges. I know him from PSV. And I think that's fantastic.
90% of the time for me, when it's signed to the Premier League, I just go, oh, that's going to kill his price.
Completely. Challenge of the champion, sell.
Do you know one that actually broke my heart this week? Is it Lucas? Is it Dueth? Gurna? What's his name? Gurna. You're an Asia guy. Lucas Gurna, I think Dueth is in his name somewhere as well, Dueth or something. Anyway, Lucas Gurna from St. Etienne, who got relegated.
Yeah.
Genesis has been singing his praises forever, talking about how amazing he is. And all of a sudden, didn't Gurna go and sign for bloody... oh my God, Plastician picked one up a week ago, man, for 0.6. Stish knows his stuff. Stish has nailed that one. Picked him up for 0.6 a week ago, and he sold yesterday for 2.5 ETH.
Jeez. Knowledge is key, man.
Huh?
Knowledge is key, eh?
That's the one. I've had a Gurna in the past, and I've wanted one, and I was close to picking up a super rare recently when I went through my wee splurge. Kind of heartbroken about that, but Adil Ashish has been linked there too, so I'm very not like they're linked to Feyenoord. I'm very happy about that.
Well, you still got super rare Ashish.
Yeah. So buzzing about that.
Yeah.
But I don't know why I brought up the... Why did I bring up Gurna? I think I was just sharing some heartbreak that I had. We'll ask a question from that man Hoodwink. There's two. I think he's asked, what's your favorite card in your gallery and what's the reason behind it? Is this real? Go for it.
That's not an inside joke. If as a genuine question, I'd probably say the Daniel Schmidt is a goalkeeper for St. Trudens, Challenger Europe team. It's the card I've had the longest. It must be nearly 2 years now that I've owned the card for. and I can't seem to get rid of him. Last night, I had an offer come in, and I didn't realise he's worth nearly an ETH, and I bought that card for about £110 all that time ago, and I just can't bring myself to sell him.
Yeah, just like, nah, he's mine and I'm keeping him.
I was selling my gallery. There's probably only 3 cards I'd keep hold of, and that would be him for sentimental reasons, Taniguchi and Cecina Limiteds. Other than that, I would, they're the 3 I'd hold on to.
I think I would, if I was selling my gallery, I would hold on to my Parejos, and I don't know if I'd hold on to anything else.
Yeah,
I actually don't know if I would. I don't know if there's anything I love enough. Maybe the Wesley.
Are you at the point where, like, 1 minute you can think, I could just settle this and start again, and then 5 minutes later you'll buy in something to complement a player that you've already got? Like, I just can't make my mind up on the route.
Say that again.
So, like, one minute you can look at your team and think, if I sold that all, I could start again and imagine what I could build. Because if you look at my gallery, I've got like a stupid amount of cards, too many cards. I play too many teams. I probably field 11, 12 teams every week. Well, weekends. Yeah. And now the Europeans, I'm probably going to have 14 teams out. And it's too many. I can't keep up with that. The DMP risk is high. So sometimes I think I need to, like, consolidate. Consolidate would be, if someone gallery reviewed me, it would be consolidate. And I know that. I've been saying it for a year and I still haven't done it. I'll upgrade the odd player here and there. But yeah, it's
I get that as well. Like, I look at my gallery sometimes and I think, fuck this, like, I should just sell a load of stuff and buy like a Bayern stack, or like I'm doing this wrong, or I should do that. But I mean, equally, like, part of me is just too lazy. I just I'll stick with it.
Exactly the same as me. And now when you look at how many cards there are, I don't want to go to them and be selling these £2, £3, £4 limiteds that I won. I just leave them there. But yeah, I'm very I need more strategy. I've got no strategy. I'm just going with the flow, I think. But I'm here for fun, more for profit.
Well, that's it, and if you're leaning that way, you're not going to be stressed about it. But there are people obviously crunching the numbers and they're shitting themselves when things happen. And speaking of shitting yourselves when things happen, I had a bit of heartbreak this week. Following on from the Umar Solet, who's actually went okay. He hasn't been confirmed to Torino. Apparently, he's a little bit too pricey for them. The price Salzburg looking. He has played in pre-season. But I'm going to tell a little story of a couple of heartbreaks, and we'll ask 1 or 2 quick questions, and we'll try and wrap this up. So on the day he was linked with Torino, someone, Patty7, Discord very active, sold Solet for 0.26 ETH. 0.26 ETH. All right. Mm-hmm. Now, for context, he sold literally hours or a day before for over 1 ETH. Right. Plummeted all the way down, and now he's bounced back up to about 0.6. So, like, you're talking about a grand of a loss there if you'd have bought at the top, sort of the bottom, which no one actually did, right?
Yeah.
So that's one heartbreaking story. Vinicius Souza. Every time, these are 2 guys I've bought recently in terms of hype, and both have been signed up. He's went to Espanyol in La Liga. Now, he might actually do okay. Who knows? But he was linked to Celtic, Ajax, Feyenoord, PSV. He was linked everywhere.
Yeah.
I bought him at a pretty saucy price, right? But if we look at his limiteds, for example, he peaked at like 0.16 and his last sale was for 0.039. He's 25% of the price he was a week ago.
What rare. Did you buy his rare?
I bought his rare for 1 ETH, and he is now, his last sale was 0.39. That's 600 quid down the tubes. But if you back the player, you back the player. The problem is he only has 1 more year. He only has 1 more year of under 23, I think. So, like, you were kind of hoping he would cream it this year and then pay for himself. But look, that was just a couple of stories of heartbreak. I'll ask you another question from that guy Hoodwink. Where do you see yourself in 12 months' time, or even further along than that? You've got a decent amount of super rares. Do you feel you could be competitive in D2 at some point? Buy a unique like John and Bob Flynn to open that option up, or happy building across leagues? So for context, I suppose, where you're at, I'll just pull up your gallery.
I've got all sorts from everywhere.
14 super rares, 68 rares, and 188 limiteds. Where are you going with that?
That's a great question, John. I don't know. The truth is, my super rares won't compete, I don't think. What's really worked in my favour are the special game weeks. The game weeks where the underdog specialist, the underdog super rare. Yeah, so when I've got all cards available and my European and Asian and Americans are available, then there is a good chance, because they're the sort of cards that I do own. I haven't got the top super rare. So I need a lucky week. For me to win in All-Star Rare Pro, I need a lucky week. They come, I'll win a T2, a T1, but I'll never podium with the cards I own. So all I want to do is keep progressing. The truth is of what I should do is what we were just discussing was really slim down on the stuff I don't need, certainly when the other leagues come back as well, and consolidate 3 or 4 rares into a better rare, or a couple of rares and a super rare into a better super rare, and go from there. That's what I should be doing and what I probably will do. The unique side of things, I'd love to have a unique, just to have it in the gallery, but it's got to be the right one, hasn't it? You can't just go buying something for the sake of it. But again, having said that, when you've got the chance of playing 1 unique and 4 limiteds, for the first time, I am tempted to look at that market.
That's huge. I'm so happy I got my unique when I did. I've 2 now, but like I got that because I just felt like it was when ETH crashed.
Yeah.
And I felt like the market hadn't reacted yet. And I feel like at times those can be good opportunities. And I've been just scanning the unique market for a week or 2, just newly listed, check what's going on. And Dorsch had jumped that. And then a week later, that unique kickoff has come up.
Yeah.
And it's now a case of, all right, so I can stick in Dorsch or Andre now, depending on whose L15 is lower than 50. And I can stick around the Mbappes and Haaland and whoever else is that I have it limited.
Well, that's the problem, because if you are unique or 2 uniques, you're going to ruin a whole D2 side for yourself, aren't you? Because to be able to play the unique...
Oh, I've also just realised if it's under 50, the average, then sure, I can't be playing the best boys. The bottom line is you have a chance of entering.
Well, this is it.
Know?
Yeah,
but I hear what you're saying about super rare. I hear what you're saying about like the super rare division.
There's no point in me entering D2 All-Star with the players that I have, but a super rare underdog or along those lines, and super rare over 32, maybe a super rare, a mix and match, then I've got a chance. And that's why I'm happy to have them now. Because at one point I was thinking, should I just sell the super rares and get better rares? But because there was all, I always felt this was coming. There was going to be some that super rares were going to be utilized, because there's, it had to really, because there was just a bargain basement, weren't there? And no one really wanted them. You were stuck with them. What can you do with them? Now there is something to do with them. You only need 1 lucky week with that guy, and you could be winning a pretty decent card or a DNP Verts, So
yeah.
Let's see. Let's go.
I'm gonna buy. Let's go, baby. I'm gonna bang out a few. There's some loyal related questions. Maybe you can get back to them on Twitter. I'm gonna bang out a few here myself. Bays has said, "What would you say is the average Sorare gallery size?" I've no idea. Ask Andy Laird, and he will tell you exactly. Favorite summer transfers from Weston Davis. We did actually kind of just name a few. We've kind of talked about them throughout. I'm not going to get stuck into it. JC67 Sorare has a good question. We're going to get back to that as our last topic, and we'll try and bang it out in a few minutes. I really rambled on, and we had a special guest come in out of nowhere, Al Mukhtar. So we've rambled on a bit. Brett wants to know, I guess listener numbers to podcast and YouTube views engagement are quite a good gauge of growth. The numbers continue to rise, or any distinct spikes at any certain times or particular rising countries. In Thailand with the fans so good I can't make the big shebang. It's a shame you can't be there. In terms of numbers, so like YouTube, I haven't changed what I'm doing. I plug out 5 videos a week. I think it's went to 4 a couple of weeks recently because I've been very busy. But I'm consistently chucking them out. Some of them do well, some of them don't. But in about February, March, April, the channel was banging. So I have a feeling it's like anything. It's just the off season. While you might like Asia and American football, a lot of people don't. A lot of people switch off. So I am hopeful, and I'm just hoping that this actually happens, that loads of people start to come back in the next few weeks and numbers start to rise again. So in terms of content numbers, they're down. They're down across the board, I imagine. I don't think I've done anything different or wrong.
If you weren't a content creator, I think you would have switched off for the summer, would you not?
100%.
So yeah, like that works, So that's your theory. You're right.
You're absolutely bang on. If I didn't make content, I wouldn't be looking at my teams every week. I would have switched off big time. So yeah, fair point. So my that's my theory as well. Like I'm hoping that in 2, 3, 4 weeks we start to see bigger numbers on YouTube than we did at the end of last season. Bigger podcast numbers, more liquidity on the market, bigger prices. So yeah, as a gauge, Brett, it is down, but I think in like the physical world of collectibles on off seasons and sports, it typically goes down. Fantasy football, if you look up FPL and you look at how many people search for FPL videos, no one's looking in June. Do you know what I mean? But everyone's looking at the end of July, start of August. So I'm hoping Sorare is something similar. But let me see. Where are we? JC67 Sorare, and we'll try and bang this one out in a minute because I do need a 137 game. We'd like to keep this under an hour and a half. What are both your thoughts on bots in the market, whether it be auto bidding or auto listing cards for the cheapest? So, the listing the cards for the cheapest, right? There's two sides to this whole debate. One is about the liquidity, right? In terms of the bidding, I think MLS Card Guy might have be the guy I seen throwing toys out of the pram and he tagged me on Twitter. Where basically it was like, who did it? I forget what it's like bidding against a bot, and someone was it Sorare strategy bidding, and then straight away their bid would be outbid.
Yeah,
and the bid again straight away it was outbid. Bid again straight away it was outbid. So it's obviously a bot doing it. And there's two sides to it. Some people were kind of coming in going, just bid the realistic price and then the bot won't beat you. It's because you're both dicking around. Imagine something's worth 100 quid on eBay and it starts at a quid. It's like you're going a quid, he's going 125, you're going 150, 175. Just stick in a 90 quid bid and he'll go away. So there's that side of it. But equally then there's the thought of bots, and people don't really like that.
But that bot is no different to an eBay bot that everyone has the power of. It's like you sticking a 70 quid bid in, and if they want to keep sticking the pound in, you're going to be, £2, £4, £6. That's going to keep going. That's no different to what eBay is. The problem is with it is that not everyone has that luxury of owning a bot.
That's the one.
So if everyone had a level playing field, that everyone could, because the thing is, if he's put his highest in and you've put your highest in, whoever's higher out of the two is going to be the highest bidder, and that other one's buggered off. And that's the end of that. But the problem is the uneven playing field with bots. They wrote a script. They'll snap these players off the market because they're under a certain price. They'll keep bidding up to a certain price. It's working for them whilst they're not there. It's not a level playing field. But if everyone had that maximum bid, minimum bid, minimum, however it wants to be, but if everyone had that tool, then it's fair. Then it doesn't really matter. I think liquidity would be better. And so rare, prices would probably be better, because it's a global game and not everyone's up 24 hours a day.
You're bang on. Having that ability on eBay, it was mentioned a few weeks ago in the podcast. If we had the ability to do that and go like, here's my max bid, here's my max bid, here's my max bid, the prices would probably increase. So it's good for Sorare. Liquidity, well, would it affect the second market? Doesn't matter. It would be better because you more like nighttime action, bidding on those nighttime auctions. So yeah, you're right. The issue here, I don't think, is necessarily what the bot does. It's the fact that that person could do it, you can't. Yeah, that's the annoying thing.
That's the problem. But if everyone owned the same bot, so to speak, then there'd be no problem, would it? I don't think.
And even the ability to go, I want to be the lowest in the market every time. So like if it just cancels and relists below the lowest price, if I stick a card up for 0.18 and then someone comes in at 0.099, then I can go automatically 0.098.
But the problem is you'd have to have a lowest there though, because if not, the bot would be against the bot, wouldn't it? It'd be like it just keep going.
Just keep going. Yeah, they would say like chase that down until this point or something. They probably have it set to like a percentage of the price. I don't know, but like, interesting. Bots in general kind of give people the ick. In terms of a Sorare thing, I think it's very hard for them to like just ban all bots because I don't think they can quite manage that.
No,
I'm not a tech guy, but I've been told before that like it's very hard for them to do that. Not even very hard. I don't even know if it's possible, but last shout out, but we don't have time to go into it, is that Footy Guy. Thanks for the question. And yes, I'm going to hit you now, Youngy, with the 137 game. So last week's is actually very funny. So Sorare Strategy picked Raposo, St. Ricketts, and Cropper, who got a combined total of 69 points.
Oh, beautiful.
Everyone collectively goes, ayo, or like laughing in their cars. So 69 points means I don't have to give any money to charity this week. It means I'm the bad guy, but I tell you what, I'm glad I got a break because we're up to 209 quid. So charity, hard luck this week, lads. Next, maybe Youngy can win you some this week. But the funny thing is, that was for game week. I think it was whatever the weekend one was last week. But that exact team in the midweek fixture so far this week, we're recording on a Thursday, they've actually shot 140, those three players. So like if it had been the other way around or a different game week, he would have been bang on the money. It just was the wrong week. What two players would you like to pick?
I'm going to go with the Asian players. Two players I own. I'm going to go with Kim Dae-won for Gang One, striker for that Gang One. He's been on fire at the moment.
Did you say Kim Dae-won?
Kim Dae-won, yeah.
Yeah.
Gang One. And you've got to go for big Taniguchi, haven't we? Got to be done.
Yeah. Taniguchi. I'm just writing it down.
I think they both got 70s in the bag.
Both got 70s in the bag. Taniguchi's a monster. Say the first guy's name again, because I think I said it back wrong to you.
Kim Dae-won.
Yeah, okay, got it right. Sorry.
So that's Gang One. The strike from Gang One.
Oh, I thought you went Kim Day One from Gang One, and I went, is it Kim Day One or Kim Gang One? I was like, which one is he on about? All right, well, look, best of luck with it, Youngy. Let's hope you nail it. If you nail it, charity gets 50 quid, and for every pound you're away, they lose a quid. Thank you so much. People can find you on Twitter. Is it just Youngy Sorare? Let me go have a look up.
FI_Youngy.
Oh, it breaks the heart. FI_Youngy. You'll be tagged across my socials. You have a very unique little picture. Is that another NFT you own?
It's an NFT, yeah. It's an unusual guest. There's a few of the loyals have got it.
There we go. I like it. So there you go. Thanks a million for coming on. It's been good fun.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me, John.
Baseball like me. And I'll see you in 3 weeks.
You will. 100%, mate. Thank you very much.
Class. See you later. If you enjoyed that, click the like button before you leave. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss next week's episode. We have another great guest. Thank you so much for watching.